The emergency alarm rang through the Galactic Council chamber. 17 different alien species rushed to their seats. Some had tentacles, some had wings. Some looked like walking crystals. But all of them looked scared. Ambassador Taemin from Earth sat in his chair and waited. He was a calm man with gray hair and tired eyes. He had been Earth's representative for 2 years now. He knew this meeting would not be pleasant. The council leader, a tall being made of blue light, spoke first. "We have a crisis. 3 human engineers have caused a dimensional rift to close in the Vrek sector. They used mining equipment. They ignored all safety protocols. And before they started, they said those terrible words." "What words?" asked a small furry alien from the back. "Hold my beer," Taemin said quietly. He knew exactly what had happened. The chamber exploded with noise. Aliens shouted in 40 different languages. Some demanded Earth be expelled from the council. Others wanted humans banned from space travel. A few just fainted. This was not the first time humans had caused problems. It all started 6 months ago when Earth joined the galactic community. Humans were new to space. They were supposed to be careful. They were supposed to learn from older species. They were supposed to follow the rules, but humans did not like rules very much. Captain Jiwoo commanded Earth's exploration ship called the Wanderer. She was young for a captain, only 32 years old. She had short black hair and a smile that made aliens nervous. Her crew was small. Engineer Hyunwoo handled all repairs. Pilot Diane flew the ship. Scientist Bo Ram studied everything they found. The Galactic Council thought these 4 humans were safe. They were wrong. The trouble began on planet Kelmar. The Wanderer was there for a simple diplomatic mission. Shake some hands, exchange some gifts, say nice things about Kelmar's 3 sons. Easy work. But when they arrived, they found a problem. A Kelmar merchant ship was stuck in a gravity well. It had been trapped there for 3 years. The best Kelmar scientists studied it every day. They had written 200 research papers about it. They had built models. They had created simulations. But they could not free the ship. Jiwoo brought her crew to see the trapped ship. The Kelmar scientists explained the problem using big words and complicated math. They showed charts and graphs. They talked about quantum fields and gravitational constants. Hyunwoo listened for exactly 4 minutes. Then he interrupted. "Wait, so the ship is just stuck because gravity is pulling it weird?" "It is not that simple," said the lead Kelmar scientist. His name had 17 syllables. "We have been studying this anomaly for years. It would take decades to solve." Hyunwoo looked at the trapped ship. He looked at his own ship. He looked back at the Kelmar scientist. Then he turned to Jiwoo. "Captain, hold my beer. I have an idea." The Kelmar scientist gasped. In their culture, giving someone your drink meant you were about to do something stupid. They did not know that humans said this all the time. Jiwoo took an imaginary beer. She knew what was coming. "How long will this take?" "Give me an hour," Hyunwoo said. He was already walking back to the Wanderer. What happened next became legendary. Hyunwoo took apart the ship's waste disposal system. Yes, the toilet. He connected it to the navigation thrusters. He added some wire from the cargo bay. He programmed it using code he wrote in 30 minutes. Then he created what he called a gravity sling. The Kelmar scientists watched in horror. This violated every rule they knew. The math did not work. The physics were wrong. The whole idea was insane, but it worked. The Wanderer created a counter-gravitational field using waste disposal equipment. The merchant ship pulled free. The whole rescue took 53 minutes. The Kelmar scientists did not celebrate. They immediately sent a report to the Galactic Council. The title was, "Human Improvisation May Constitute a Cosmic Threat." News spread fast in the galaxy. Humans had done the impossible using a toilet and some wire. Other species began investigating Earth's history. What they found terrified them. Humans had been doing impossible things for thousands of years. They flew machines heavier than air. They split atoms. They went to their moon using computers less powerful than a modern coffee maker. And throughout their history, they kept saying, "Hold my beer," before trying crazy things. The Galactic Archives found 17,000 recorded incidents. Each one showed a human doing something that should not work. Building bridges that should collapse. Creating medicines by accident. Surviving falls that should kill them. And always saying those 4 words first. The council assigned specialist Yejun to explain human behavior. Yejun was young and enthusiastic. He thought the presentation would be easy. He was wrong. Yejun showed up with videos from Earth. He showed aliens something called extreme sports. He showed them people jumping off cliffs with fabric wings. He showed them humans riding giant waves. He showed them someone named Johnny Knoxville doing things that should absolutely kill a person. "This is normal?" asked a horrified council member. "This is Tuesday for us," Ye-jun said with a smile. The council watched in silence as humans did backflips on motorcycles, as they climbed mountains without ropes, as they intentionally jumped out of perfectly good aircraft for fun. "But why?" asked the council leader. Ye-jun thought about it. "Because it is there? Because someone said we could not? Because it seemed fun? Humans do not always need good reasons. Sometimes we just do things to see what happens." That was the wrong answer. The council erupted again. Some species demanded humans be studied. Others wanted humans quarantined on Earth. A few suggested putting warning signs around the entire solar system, but the damage was done. Humans were in space now, and they were not going away. More incidents followed. A human cargo pilot named Subin fixed a broken engine by hitting it with a wrench. It should not have worked. It worked perfectly. A human scientist named Hana solved a century-old equation by just trying random numbers until something clicked. A human named Wansik repaired a space station's computer by turning it off and on again. The station's original builders said this was impossible. They were wrong. The galaxy was not ready for humans. Humans solved problems by ignoring the rules. They fixed things by breaking them first. They made decisions based on gut feelings instead of data. And worst of all, it worked. Back in the council chamber, Taemin finally stood up. "I know you are scared. I know humans are unpredictable. But we saved that Kelmar ship. We help where we can. Yes, our methods are strange, but they work. That is what terrifies us," said the council leader. "You should fail. The universe has rules. Mathematics does not lie. Physics cannot be ignored. Yet humans do the impossible regularly." "How?" Taemin smiled. It was not a happy smile. "We do not know either. We just keep trying until something works. We call it human stubbornness. You can call it whatever you want. But we are here now, and we are not leaving." The meeting ended badly. No decisions were made, but everyone knew things had changed. Humans were loose in the galaxy, and they had already started saying, "Hold my beer" again. Outside the chamber, Taemin checked his messages. There were 3 new incidents reported. A human mining crew had accidentally discovered a new element. A human cook had created a food that 17 species thought was delicious. And somewhere in the outer rim, a human engineer had just said the words, "Hold my beer," before attempting to fix a broken star map. Taemin sighed. It was going to be a long career. The Galactic Council worked for 3 weeks straight. They studied every human incident. They analyzed every report. They consulted with experts from 90 different species. Finally, they created something new: Protocol Crimson. Protocol Crimson was simple. Whenever sensors detected the phrase, "Hold my beer" in any human language, automatic warnings went out. All ships in the area had to leave immediately. Military forces went on high alert, and insurance companies automatically denied all claims for that sector. The safe distance was defined as at least 3 star systems away. Some species argued this was too close. Others said humans could not possibly be that dangerous. Both groups were wrong. Ambassador Taemin stood before the council again. This time he was angry. "You are treating us like weapons. We are just trying to help." "Help?" The council leader's blue light flickered. Last week, a human named Jae-hee kicked a box that had been studied for 10,000 years. She broke a puzzle that the greatest minds in the galaxy could not solve. By kicking it, it worked, did it not? Taemin said. "That is the problem. It should not have worked." The council showed a video. Commander Jae-hee stood in front of what aliens called the impossible box. The box was covered in symbols. It glowed with strange colors. It existed in 4 dimensions at once. Thousands of scientists had studied it. They wrote millions of pages about it. No one could open it. The Severon Union challenged humanity. They thought humans were lucky, not special. They gave the box to Jae-hee. "Solve this," they said. "Prove you are as clever as you claim." Jae-hee looked at the box for 3 minutes. She walked around it twice. She touched it once. Then she turned to her second officer, Min Soo, and handed him her coffee. "Hold this. I've got it." She kicked the box. Not hard, just a regular kick. The kind of kick you would give a vending machine that ate your money. The box opened. Inside was a glowing crystal that contained the secrets of an ancient civilization. The Severon scientists who witnessed this had to be taken to medical facilities. Some of them never fully recovered. She violated every rule of quantum mechanics, the council leader said. "Our scientists are still trying to understand how this was possible. Some have given up and started studying philosophy instead." Taemin tried not to smile. Maybe the box was just stuck. The council was not amused, but Jaehee's incident was just the beginning. The council wanted to understand humans better. They needed to know if humans were really as unpredictable as they seemed, so they assigned Dr. Hana to study them. Dr. Hana was a xenopsychologist. She studied alien minds. She had worked with hundreds of species. She thought humans would be easy to understand. She was very wrong. Dr. Hana joined a human cargo ship. Captain Subin ran a small crew that transported goods across 3 sectors. They seemed normal enough. Subin was friendly. Her crew was professional. The ship was clean and well-maintained. Then things started breaking. In space, things break all the time. But humans fixed things in ways that made no sense. The navigation computer stopped working. The proper procedure was to replace the damaged circuits. This would take 6 hours. Instead, the human engineer turned it off, waited 10 seconds, and turned it back on. The computer worked perfectly. Why did that work? Dr. Hana asked. The engineer shrugged. Sometimes computers just need a break. That is not how computers work, I know. But it worked anyway. A week later, the engine made a strange noise. The proper procedure was to run full diagnostics. This would take 3 days. Instead, Captain Subin hit it with a wrench. The noise stopped. Why did that work? Dr. Hana asked again. The engine just needed some encouragement, Subin said. That is not how engines work. I know. But the noise stopped, did it not? Dr. Hana documented 47 incidents in 3 months. Humans fixed problems by hitting them. They solved equations by guessing. They repaired complex systems by eyeballing it. And most terrifying of all, these methods worked 87% of the time. The scientific community was horrified by her report. The math said human methods should fail. Physics said their solutions were impossible. Logic said they should all be dead, but they were not dead. They were thriving. And they kept saying, "Hold my beer," before trying even crazier things. Dr. Hana wrote her conclusion carefully. Humans possess an evolutionary trait that makes them allergic to the word impossible. When you tell a human something cannot be done, they take it as a personal challenge. They do not accept limits. They do not follow proper procedures. They just try things until something works. She added a note at the end. I am scared of what they might do next. Meanwhile, a small group of alien sociologists proposed a new theory. It was a terrifying theory. They said humans were not just creative problem solvers. They said humans could actually bend reality. Think about it, said Professor Calvor, a being made of crystalline thoughts. Human solutions work more often than they should. The mathematics prove this. If physics were consistent, humans would fail constantly. But they do not fail. Therefore, humans must be changing the rules somehow. You are saying humans can alter reality? Another scientist asked. I am saying humans refuse to accept reality as it is, and somehow the universe agrees with them. Most scientists laughed at this theory. It was too crazy, too impossible. But then someone did the math. Human solutions succeeded 87% of the time. According to proper calculations, they should succeed only 12% of the time. The numbers did not lie. Something strange was happening when humans tried to solve problems. The theory spread quietly through academic circles. Some species started avoiding humans completely. Others wanted to study them more. A few tried to hire humans to solve their impossible problems. Earth's government noticed the change. More aliens were visiting Earth. Some came to study humans. Others came to ask for help. And a few came to beg humans to stop doing impossible things. Specialist Ye-jun gave another presentation to the Galactic Council. This time he tried to explain human thinking. Humans do not see problems the same way you do. When you see an impossible task, you accept it. When humans see an impossible task, we get curious. We want to know if it is really impossible or if everyone just thinks it is impossible. What is the difference? Asked a council member. The difference is that everyone might be wrong. Maybe the task is not actually impossible. Maybe everyone just gave up too soon. Humans do not give up easily. We keep trying. We try different approaches. We break rules. We make mistakes. And sometimes we succeed. But you succeed too often, the council leader said. Your success rate is statistically impossible. Ye-jun grinned. Maybe your statistics are wrong. That was not the right thing to say. The council erupted again. Some aliens accused humans of cheating. Others accused humans of lying. A few accused humans of using secret technology. But humans were not cheating. They were not lying. They had no secret technology. They just refused to accept that some things could not be done. Back on Earth, Captain Jiwoo received new orders. The Galactic Council wanted her to stop exploring. They wanted her to stay in one place. They wanted to watch her and her crew more carefully. Jiwoo read the orders. She looked at her crew. Yunwoo was already working on a new project. Taiyun was planning their next flight path. Boram was studying samples from their last mission. Orders say we need to stay near Earth, Jiwoo told them. Are we going to follow those orders? Yunwoo asked. Jiwoo smiled. What do you think? The Wanderer left Earth orbit that night. They had galaxies to explore. Rules to break. Impossible things to accomplish. And somewhere in the universe, sensors detected 4 words in Korean. Hold my beer. Protocol Crimson activated immediately. 3 star systems away, ships began evacuating. The age of human exploration had truly begun, and the galaxy was not ready for it. The Malthor expanse was the most dangerous place in the galaxy. Everyone knew this. For 800 years no one went there. The area was marked with warning signs in 400 languages. All of them said the same thing. Stay away or die. Inside the expanse sat an ancient weapon. No one knew who built it. No one knew how it worked. But everyone knew what it did. If any ship came too close, the weapon activated. It destroyed everything within 3 solar systems. No warnings, no second chances, just destruction. Thousands of scientists tried to disable the weapon. They studied it from far away. They sent robots. They tried talking to it. They tried ignoring it. Nothing worked. The weapon just sat there waiting to kill anyone who came close. The best minds in the galaxy calculated it would take 300 years to safely disarm the weapon. Maybe longer. Maybe never. Most people just avoided the area completely. Then Captain Won-sik made a navigation error. Won-sik commanded the Bold Fortune, a small human survey ship. His job was to map empty sectors of space. It was boring work. Won-sik got bored easily. When he got bored, he stopped paying attention. And when he stopped paying attention, he made mistakes. The Bold Fortune drifted into the Malthor expanse by accident. Won-sik was reading a book. His navigator was asleep. No one noticed they had crossed the warning boundary until the alarm started screaming. Captain, the navigator yelled. We are in the expanse. Won-sik looked up from his book. Oh no, the ancient weapon detected them immediately. It powered up. Energy signatures lit up every sensor in the sector. Warning systems across 3 galaxies started alerting their governments. This was it. The weapon was going to fire. Millions would die, but the weapon did not fire right away. It took time to charge, maybe 10 minutes, maybe less. Won-sik had a choice. He could run. The ship might escape before the weapon destroyed everything. Or he could try something stupid. Engineer Yu-jin ran onto the bridge. She was young, barely 25 years old. She had joined the crew 3 months ago. This was her first real crisis. She looked at the readings. She looked at the weapon. She looked at Captain Won-sik. Captain, I have an idea, she said. Is it a good idea? Won-sik asked. Probably not. Will it work? Maybe? Won-sik thought about it for exactly 3 seconds. Then he nodded. Do it! Yu-jin grabbed her toolkit. She grabbed some wire from storage. She grabbed a multi-tool that her father gave her. Then she said the words that made the galaxy panic. Hold my beer. I am going to fix this. Across the galaxy, sensors detected those words. Protocol Crimson activated instantly. Alarms rang in every council building. Military fleets went on high alert. Insurance companies shut down their entire human divisions. Fleet Commander In-ho of Earth's Defense Force received the emergency alert. He was eating breakfast when the call came. He looked at his coffee. He looked at the alert. Then he called Ambassador Tae-min. One of our ships is in the Malthor expanse, In-ho said. I know, Tae-min replied. I am watching the sensor feeds now. The Galactic Council wants us to evacuate human colonies. They think the weapon will destroy everything. What do you think? In-ho was quiet for a moment. I think we should wait. If it's a human who said hold my beer, they might actually fix it. Tae-min wanted to argue. He wanted to say this was too dangerous. He wanted to order the evacuation. But he had been Earth's ambassador for 2 years now. He had seen humans do impossible things. He decided to trust them. Give them 20 minutes, Tae-min told the council. If they have not fixed it or died by then, you can panic. The council did not like this answer. But they waited. On the Bold Fortune, Yu-jin worked fast. She studied the weapon's energy signature. She looked at how it was charging. She examined the ancient technology. And she realized something interesting. This is not a weapon, she said. What? Won-sik looked confused. It has destroyed hundreds of ships. No, listen. It is a weapon now, but it was not built as a weapon. Look at these energy patterns. This was a power generator, a really big one. Something went wrong. It got angry. Now it attacks anything that comes close. How do you know this? Yu-jin shrugged. I grew up fixing old machines. They all act the same when they break. They get mean. She opened a panel on the weapon's exterior. Inside were systems that no one understood. Technology from a civilization that died millions of years ago. Yujin looked at it like she was looking at a broken washing machine. The problem is here, she said, pointing. This part is trying to regulate power. But it is overloading. So all the energy goes to the weapon system instead of the power distribution system. Can you fix it? Hold my beer. Already said that. Now I need to actually do it. Yujin rewired the ancient system using her multi-tool and some basic wire. She ignored proper procedures. She ignored safety protocols. She just connected parts that looked like they should be connected. She rerouted power flows. She adjusted energy outputs. It took her 18 minutes. Try it now, she said. Won-Sik held his breath. The weapon's charging sequence stopped. The energy signatures changed. The massive power that was building up suddenly redirected. Instead of preparing to fire, the weapon started feeding power to the old distribution network. It worked, Won-Sik whispered. Yujin climbed out of the weapon's maintenance shaft. She was covered in oil and ancient dust. Of course it worked. It was just a really angry battery. I made it less angry. The bold fortune sent a signal to the galaxy. Weapon disarmed. Area is now safe. Also, we accidentally created a massive power generator. Anyone need electricity? The nearest space station could not believe it. They had been running on minimal power for decades. The Malthor expanse blocked them from the main energy grid. They had been stuck there, slowly dying. Now suddenly they had more power than they knew what to do with. How much power? The station commander asked. Enough for 1,000 years, Yujin replied. Maybe longer. I am not great at math. The incident report was 300 pages long. Scientists from 17 species tried to explain how Yujin fixed an ancient weapon using basic wire and a multi-tool. They could not explain it. The technology should have rejected her modifications. The system should have exploded. Nothing she did should have worked, but it did work. And it worked perfectly. The report's conclusion was one sentence. We have no idea how this happened, but we are afraid to ask questions. The Galactic Council held another emergency meeting. This time, half the species demanded humans be locked on Earth. The other half wanted to hire humans to solve their problems. Some species wanted both. A few just wanted to hide. Humans are too dangerous, said the council leader. They must be contained. They just saved an entire sector, Taman argued. They solved a problem that has existed for 800 years. They did it in 18 minutes. You should be thanking them. We would thank them if we understood how they did it. But we do not understand. We cannot predict humans. We cannot control humans. They break every rule and somehow succeed. This is not natural. Natural or not, we are here, and we are helping. The council debated for hours. They argued about protocols. They discussed regulations. They tried to find ways to limit human activities. But they could not agree on anything. Finally, one member spoke up. His name was Korvan. He was old and wise and rarely spoke. The problem is not that humans are dangerous. The problem is that we are scared of them. We are scared because they do things we cannot do. They solve problems we cannot solve. They make us feel small. The council went quiet. Maybe, Korvan continued, we should stop trying to control them. Maybe we should learn from them instead. Learn what? The council leader asked. How to ignore physics. How to violate the laws of nature. No, learn how to try. Humans try impossible things because they do not know the things are impossible. Or they know but do not care. Either way, they try. And sometimes trying is enough. The meeting ended with no decisions. But something changed. Some species started looking at humans differently. Not as threats. Not as mysteries. But as teachers. Back on the Bold Fortune, Yujin was already working on her next project. Captain Won-Sik watched her nervously. Please tell me you are not going to say those words again, Won-Sik said. Yujin looked up from her work. She was covered in grease and smiling. Oh, I am definitely going to say them again. Probably tomorrow. Maybe tonight. There is a lot of broken stuff in this galaxy, and I like fixing things, Won-Sik sighed. The council is not going to like that. The council can hold my beer too, Yujin said. Somewhere in the galaxy, sensors detected those words again. Protocol Crimson activated. Ships evacuated. Military forces mobilized. Insurance companies prepared for the worst. But for the first time, a few aliens smiled when they heard the warning. Because they were starting to understand something important about humans. When humans said, hold my beer, impossible things became possible. Dr. Sunmi was an archaeologist. She spent her life digging through ruins of dead civilizations. Most archaeologists worked on Earth. Sunmi preferred alien worlds. She liked discovering secrets that no one had seen for millions of years. She was working on a planet at the edge of the galaxy. The planet had no name, just a number, Sector 7743. The planet was cold and empty. Nothing lived there anymore. But once a great civilization had built cities here. Then they vanished. Sunmi had been digging for 3 months. She found tools. She found buildings. She found art. But she had not found anything important, not until today. She was working in a deep chamber when her scanner detected something. A room behind a wall. A hidden room. Sunmi carefully broke through the wall. Inside was a vault. The vault was sealed for millions of years. Sunmi opened it with shaking hands. Inside were data crystals. Thousands of them. Each crystal contained information from the ancient civilization. Sunmi spent 2 weeks reading the crystals. The language was difficult. The concepts were strange. But slowly she understood. And what she learned made her blood run cold. She immediately contacted Ambassador Taemin. I found something. Something important. Something about humans. Taemin arrived 3 days later. Sunmi showed him everything. The vault. The crystals. The information. Taemin read it all. When he finished, he sat down heavily. The architects, he whispered. The architects were a legend. A civilization so old and so advanced that they created life itself. They seeded planets across the galaxy. They designed species. They built worlds. Then they disappeared. Most species thought the architects were just a story. But Sunmi found proof. The architects were real. And they created humans for a specific purpose. The data crystals contained the architects' final logs. They talked about their greatest project. A species designed to solve impossible problems. A species that refused to accept limits. A species that could adapt to any challenge. Humans. We were made, Sunmi said quietly. We are not natural. The architects designed us as a fail-safe, a last resort. When the galaxy faces something impossible, humans are supposed to fix it. Taemin read the logs again. The architects called humans adaptive chaos agents. They built human DNA to reject impossibilities. They programmed human brains to see solutions where others saw only problems. They created human stubbornness as a feature, not a bug. The final log entry was dated millions of years ago. It said, "The failsafe species is complete. They must never discover their true nature, or they might get ideas. But when the galaxy needs them, they will be ready. They will do what no logical species can do. They will ignore the rules and save everything." Does the council know about this? Sunmi asked. Not yet, Taemin said. And maybe they should not know. Not right now. We have bigger problems. He showed Sunmi the latest reports. Something was coming. Something from outside the galaxy. Something terrible. The Void Swarm had destroyed 3 entire galaxies. They were beings made of nothing. They consumed stars. They ate planets. They turned everything into emptiness. No weapon could stop them. No defense could slow them. Every species that faced them died. Now the Void Swarm was breaking into this galaxy. The council estimated 6 months before the first attacks. Maybe less. And no one had any ideas for how to stop them. Every strategy fails, Taemin said. We ran millions of simulations. We tried every weapon. We planned every defense. Nothing works. The Void Swarm always wins. What does the council want to do? They want to run. They want to evacuate to another galaxy. But there is nowhere to run. The swarm will follow. It always follows. Sunmi looked at the data crystals. She looked at the information about humans. The architects made us for this. For impossible problems. This is more than impossible. This is extinction. Then maybe it is time to get stupid ideas. Taemin contacted Admiral Kyung-soo. She was Earth's highest-ranking military officer. She commanded the defense fleet. She had fought in 12 battles and won them all. Kyung-soo came to Sector 7743. She read the data crystals. She studied the reports about the Void Swarm. She looked at the simulations. Then she stood up and took off her uniform jacket. Someone hold this, she said. I have a stupid idea. Across the galaxy, Protocol Crimson activated. Every species detected those words. Humans were about to do something crazy again, but this time no one tried to stop them. Because this time, crazy was their only hope. Kyung-soo assembled her team. She called for volunteers. Not just any volunteers. She wanted the humans who said, hold my beer the most. She wanted the humans who broke the most rules. She wanted the humans who did the most impossible things. Demolition expert Sang-woo joined first. He once collapsed a mountain using regular explosives. Everyone said it was impossible. He did it anyway because it seemed fun. Pilot Yunji joined next. She flew through a star's corona because it was faster than going around. Her ship's computer calculated she had a 0% chance of survival. She survived and arrived early. Physicist Nuri joined last. She solved faster than light travel by ignoring the math that said it could not work. She just tried different equations until one worked. The scientific community still argued about whether her math was real or magic. The alien observers were terrified. These humans looked at the end of everything and smiled. They talked about winging it and playing it by ear. They made jokes. They laughed. They acted like saving the galaxy was just another Tuesday. Counselor Zithora of the Harmonious Collective begged them to stop. "Please be serious. This is extinction." "We are serious," Kyungsu said. "We are just not worried." "Worry does not help. Action helps. But you have no plan." "We have the beginning of a plan. We will figure out the rest as we go." The plan was insane. Kyungsu wanted to lure the Void Swarm into a trap. The trap would use half the galaxy's remaining fleet as bait. Then they would collapse the dimensional barrier using a weapon that did not exist yet. A weapon they would build using technology they had not invented. Powered by a star they had not picked out yet. "How long will this take?" the council leader asked. 2 weeks, Kyungsu said. 2 weeks? Our scientists said this would take decades. Maybe centuries. Your scientists think too much. We are just going to do it, and if you fail, then we try plan B. What is plan B? Kyungsu shrugged. We will figure that out if we need it. Humans are really good at backup plans. We have plans C through Z ready too. The council had no choice. They authorized the plan. They gave Kyungsu everything she asked for. Ships, resources, personnel. They even gave her access to the ancient weapons vault on Kelmar 9. Kyungsu studied the ancient weapons. Most were too dangerous to use. Some were too unstable. A few were just confusing. But she found what she needed. An old device that could tear dimensional barriers. It had not been used in a million years. It might not work. It might explode. Perfect, Kyungsu said. We will use this. Her team started building. Sang-woo handled the explosives. Yoonji planned the flight paths. Nari worked on the math. They had 2 weeks to save the galaxy. They also had another problem. The Void Swarm was moving faster than expected. It would arrive in 10 days, not 6 months. The council panicked. Every species prepared for the end, but Kyungsu just adjusted her timeline. We work faster then. No problem. How can you be so calm? Ambassador Taemin asked her. Because worry does not help, Kyungsu said. My team is the best. We have faced impossible things before. This is just another impossible thing. We will handle it. But what if you fail? Kyungsu smiled. It was a confident smile. A human smile. Then at least we tried. And humans never give up. Even if this plan fails, we will try another plan. And another, and another. We will keep trying until something works. That is what humans do. Taemin wanted to believe her. He wanted to have faith. But the Void Swarm had destroyed entire galaxies. How could humans stop something like that? You are thinking too much, Kyungsu said. Stop thinking. Start believing. We are going to do something impossible. And it is going to work. Because we are human, and humans do not know how to quit. 10 days until the Void Swarm arrived. 10 days to save everything. 10 days to prove the architects were right about humans. Across the galaxy, billions of beings watched and waited. Some prayed to their gods. Some made peace with death. And some, just a few, started to believe that maybe, just maybe, these crazy humans could actually do it after all. They had said, hold my beer. And every time humans said those words, impossible things happened. The Void Swarm arrived 3 days early. Every calculation was wrong. Every prediction failed. The enemy did not follow any rules. They just came faster than anyone expected. Admiral Kyungsu stood on the bridge of the Earth flagship Indomitable. Around her, hundreds of ships from dozens of species waited. They were the bait, the trap, the last hope, but the trap was not ready. The weapon was only half built. The dimensional barrier device was still untested. They needed more time. Time they did not have. Admiral, the swarm is entering the sector, reported the sensor officer. 3 million entities. No, 5 million. Numbers increasing. Kyungsu watched the displays. The Void Swarm looked like a black cloud spreading across space. Wherever they went, stars died. Planets vanished. Everything turned into nothing. How long until the weapon is ready? She asked. Engineer Sang-woo replied from the weapon platform. At least 6 more hours. Maybe 8. We are working as fast as we can. 6 hours. They did not have 6 hours. They had maybe 30 minutes before the swarm reached them. Kyung-soo looked at her crew. She looked at the Allied fleet. She looked at the weapon that was not ready. Then she smiled. All right. Change of plans. We are doing this the stupid way. She opened a channel to all ships. This is Admiral Kyung-soo. Everyone hold each other's beers. This is going to get weird. Protocol Crimson activated across the galaxy. But this time no one evacuated. This time everyone stayed to watch. Because this was it. The last chance. If humans failed now, everything ended. What is the stupid way? Asked Captain Ji-woo from the Wanderer. We fight them now. We keep them busy. We buy time for the weapon. But we cannot hurt them. Every weapon just passes through them. Then we do not try to hurt them. We just annoy them. Make them chase us. Make them waste time. Humans are really good at being annoying. The fleet charged forward. It should not have worked. Every tactical manual said running at an enemy you could not hurt was suicide. But humans wrote their own tactical manuals. And those manuals said try it anyway and see what happens. The void swarm met them. The battle was chaos. Human ships flew in patterns that made no sense. They used weapons that should not work. They tried strategies that violated every rule. Pilot Yoonji flew her fighter through a gap in the swarm. The gap was too small. The computer said she could not fit. She ignored the computer and made it fit anyway. Behind her, 6 enemy entities chased. She led them in circles, wasting their time. Captain Wonsik used his cargo ship as a battering ram. Cargo ships were not weapons. They were slow and weak. But Wonsik accelerated to maximum speed and crashed through a formation of void entities. It disrupted them. It confused them. It bought 30 seconds. Commander Jae-hee discovered something interesting. The void entities absorbed energy weapons, but they reacted to solid objects. So she started shooting asteroids at them. Regular rocks. The rocks did not hurt the entities, but they did make them pause. They did make them slower. Shoot rocks at them, she broadcast. Physical objects work better than energy. The fleet started using everything they had. They shot debris. They launched empty cargo containers. They threw pieces of broken ships. It was insane. It was stupid. It worked. The void swarm slowed down. Not much, but enough. Every second mattered. Every minute was precious. On the weapon platform, Sang-woo worked frantically. The dimensional barrier device was ancient technology. It should be handled carefully. It should be tested thoroughly. But there was no time for careful or thorough. Connect this wire here, he told his team. Ignore the safety protocols. We do not have time for safety. But it might explode, someone said. Then we die quickly instead of slowly. Keep working. Physicist Nari worked on the calculations. The math was impossible. The equations did not work. According to every law of physics, the weapon could not function. But Nari had solved impossible math before. She just kept trying different numbers. This number feels right, she said, pointing at her screen. Feels right. What does that mean? It means I do not know if it is correct, but it feels like it should work. Trust me, they trusted her. They had no choice. Nari entered her feelings into the weapon's computer. The machine accepted the numbers. Whether they were right or wrong, they would find out soon. Back in the battle, the fleet was losing. Ships were disappearing. Void entities were everywhere. The clever tactics were not enough anymore. The swarm was too big, too many, too hungry. Admiral Kyung-soo watched ship after ship vanish. Good crews. Good people. Allies who trusted humanity to save them. She felt the weight of every loss. Sang-woo, we need that weapon now, she said. Almost ready. 5 more minutes. We do not have 5 minutes. Then we have 4 minutes. Still working. Kyung-soo made a decision. A terrible decision. But the only one she had. All ships get behind me. The Indomitable will buy you time. Admiral, no. Captain Ji-woo shouted. That is suicide. It is necessary. Get behind me. Protect the weapon platform. That is an order. The Indomitable flew forward alone. The flagship was the biggest ship in the fleet. The strongest. But it was still just one ship against millions of enemies. Kyung-soo expected to die. She made peace with it. But then something happened. Something incredible. The other human ships did not retreat. They flew forward with her. What are you doing? Kyung-soo demanded. I gave you an order. And we are ignoring it, Captain Ji-woo said. We are human. We do not leave our people behind. The human ships formed a wall. They protected the weapon platform. They protected each other. And somehow, impossibly, they held the line. 2 minutes, Sang-woo called out. I need 2 more minutes. The longest 2 minutes in history. Ships exploded. Void entities pressed closer. The human wall was breaking. But it did not break completely. Humans shouted at each other. They encouraged each other. They told bad jokes even while dying. 1 minute, Sang-woo called. Pilot Yoonji's fighter was hit. Her ship was dying. She could eject. She could save herself. Instead, she flew directly into the thickest part of the swarm. Her ship exploded. The explosion did nothing to the void entities. But it bought 10 more seconds. Weapon is ready, Sang-woo finally called. Firing now. Nothing happened. No beam of light. No massive explosion. For a terrible moment, everyone thought it had failed. Then space itself began to tear. The dimensional barrier between realities ripped open. The weapon was not designed to hurt the void swarm. It was designed to send them somewhere else, somewhere far away, somewhere they could never return from. But the tear was not big enough. It was only catching some of the entities. Most of the swarm was still coming. The weapon is not strong enough, Nari reported. My calculations were wrong. Kyung-soo looked at the weapon. She looked at the swarm. She looked at her crew. Then she made one final decision, one final gamble. Overload the weapon, she ordered. Push it past maximum. That will destroy it. Probably destroy us too. Do it anyway. We make the tear bigger or we all die. Those are the options. Sang-woo did not hesitate. He pushed the weapon past every safety limit. The dimensional barrier device screamed. Energy levels went critical. Warning alarms rang everywhere. The tear grew and kept growing. It swallowed the void swarm. Millions of entities vanished into another dimension. The tear spread across the sector. It consumed the enemy. All of them. Then the weapon exploded. The platform disintegrated. The explosion should have destroyed the entire fleet. But something strange happened. The explosion fed into the dimensional tear. It made the tear seal itself. Reality repaired itself. When the light faded, the void swarm was gone. The fleet was damaged but alive. The weapon was destroyed. But it had worked. Silence filled every ship. Then slowly, cheering began. Aliens who thought they would die were alive. Species that faced extinction were saved. The impossible had happened again. Admiral Kyung-soo sat in her command chair. Her ship was heavily damaged. Her fleet was scattered. Many good people had died. But they had won. Against everything, they had won. Someone remind me to never say, "Hold my beer," ever again, she said quietly. Her crew laughed. They knew it was a lie. Humans would always say those words. It was who they were. 5 years passed. The galaxy rebuilt. New ships were made. New alliances were formed. And humanity's reputation spread to every corner of known space. Hold my beer became a legendary phrase. Universities studied it. Historians wrote about it. Children learned about the day humans saved the galaxy by doing something completely crazy. Captain Ji-woo now commanded the Human Crisis Response Team. Her job was to solve impossible problems. She recruited the best and the wildest humans she could find. People who said, "Hold my beer" regularly. People who refused to accept limits. The Galactic Council created a new category for humanity. They were no longer just members. They were essential chaos agents. When any species faced an impossible problem, they called humans. And humans always came to help. On a remote station at the edge of known space, Specialist Ye-jun taught alien cadets at Earth's Interspecies Academy. Today's lesson was Understanding Human Psychology 101. A young alien student raised a tentacle. "Professor, is it true that humans do not feel fear?" Ye-jun smiled. "We feel fear. We just have a really bad habit of ignoring it. When something scares us, we often say, 'Hold my beer,' and do the thing anyway." He showed a hologram, the first moon landing, the first faster than light,